This is the Pet Buzz.
This is the Pet Buzz.
And here's the Dynamic Pet Duo.
So COVID has changed so many things, especially when it comes to some of our most beloved and iconic U.S. events, including the annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show.
So today we are speaking with Gail Bisher, the Director of Communications and one of the co-hosts of the 145th Westminster Annual Dog Show.
So Gail, can you tell us the 2021 dates of the dog show and talk about its new temporary location?
Sure. So just like everything in 2020, our dog show planning was really challenged. And, we were very fortunate in 2020 to be able to have our dog show in February. And then, of course, in March, the whole world shut down. And so we spent the rest of the year trying to plan for all scenarios because, no one knew exactly what was going to happen. So we're just really thrilled that we're even having a dog show this year. Things are opening up a little bit, and that's awesome. But in the interim, we had to go ahead and make our plans. And our plan was to move the dog show outside of Manhattan. And that's for the first time in 145 years that the show won't be held in Manhattan. And so it's a historic year for us, but we are excited with our new home, which is the Lyndhurst Estate in Tarrytown, New York, which isn't that far from the city, but also allows us to be outside, which the dogs I'm sure will love. And then we're right next to the Hudson River. It's a beautiful landscape, and the estate is no stranger to dog shows. For the 30 years, other dog shows were held there. And in fact, the owners of the Lyndhurst Estate, the Gould family, actually showed dogs at Westminster in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Question for you, though. 1884, Westminster had its second show. The second show wasn't in New York City. Wasn't it in upstate New York? That was the only year you had two shows. That was in New York City?
So there were two shows that year, but it was in New York City. Every year has been in New York. That is something that we're very proud of.
Yeah, because I know there's not that much information on that show. You had a question, Dr. Flynn.
Yeah, let's bring it up now. Our listeners really want to watch this, listen to it, watch it, enjoy it. So how can dog enthusiasts tune in and enjoy the show?
Sure. So this year, of course, we're going to have live streaming on our website, westminsterkennelclub.org, or you can watch it on Fox. We're going to be on Fox for the agility finals and for the second night of groups and best in show. But for the full schedule, just go to westminsterkennelclub.org.
So you kind of answered one of my questions, Gail. I was curious about we're in Florida. I used to live in New York, about the New York State COVID regulations. We know that they've impacted Westminster, obviously change of venue. They're moving upstate. There's no spectators this year, even at beautiful Lindenhurst, which is unfortunate. And I also know there are no vendors. But you started talking about the size of the show. How many dogs are participating?
So it's the same as last year. We have a limited entry of 2,500 dogs in confirmation. And so that's the same. And, there's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. So they'll be split up by the groups.
That's still a big entry. So that's going to be good, don't you think?
I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. I mean, we want to see it every year. If we're not there present to physically be there, we want to see it.
And it's really nice too, the poster. I collect Westminster posters because there's a huge collection in the prop room. Some of them are not even open, but there's a beautiful one right on the wall here in the studio. What's nice is the poster is reflective of the fact that the show is not in New York.
I got you.
Yeah, so I ordered you one for your office.
Okay.
Yeah, and a frame so you could put it up, and I ordered myself one too. So, I think one of the things people always enjoy seeing are the new breeds at the show, right? You're always curious what's going to be, what's the newest thing, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, Gail, tell us, what new breeds are we going to be seeing?
So this year we have 4 new breeds, and we're really excited to welcome them. They're newly eligible, as you know, Charlotte. They're not new breeds. They've been very popular in other countries, but they're newly eligible because they became AKC recognized last year. And so this year we have the Barbet joining the sporting group, and they are so beautiful. They have this curly, they're a medium-sized dog. They're very upbeat, but they have this beautiful curly coat. coat and a beard, which Barb, of course, of Barbet means beard. And so they're just a beautiful dog, and they're originally supposed to be part of the long line of water retrieving dogs from France. So look for those in the sporting group. And then in the toy.
Are you going to get one? Because I know you started out showing bearded collies.
Yes, I'm used to a wet beard for sure. But no, I am actually, I'm full up with my sporting dogs already, but I'm excited to watch them because if you see the brown ones, I like browns. They come in black, they come in a variety of colors, but the rich colors of the browns are so beautiful. They really are a gorgeous breed. And they have that beautiful, that cool rustic coat. So then the second breed is the Beaver Terrier, which is in the toy group. And this breed is very similar in shape to a Yorkie, but a Yorkshire Terrier, but they're completely different breed. They're not related, but they have a beautiful coat color, which is mostly white. And then they have their beautiful mahogany and black markings on their face. And I think they're going to be really popular with people. They're fun loving. They're a great little family breed. And if you don't want that long flowing coat like we have in the showroom, you can always just trim it off and have a, cute little pajama cut on a dog.
It's interesting because it looks like a Yorkie head with the long flowing, really straight, silky coat of a Shih Tzu, right? Wouldn't you say? It's a very pretty dog.
They're very cute. And when they are clipped back, I think they're even cuter. I mean, I think they're really going to become popular. And the fact that they're trainable and they're really playful and happy, upbeat breed, temperament wise, I think is going to make them, become more and more popular. And then the third dog joining, the third breed joining this year is the Belgian Lacanois, and that is joining the herding breed. And of course, they are part of the Belgian herding breeds that we already know of. They're related, and they have very similar outline and movement, gait to the Belgian Malinois, the Belgian Sheepdog, and the Belgian Tervuren. And so this is the fourth of those Belgian herding breeds. But of course, they have a different coat, and that's what really sets them apart. They don't have that thick coat, and they don't have the smoother coat like the Malinois. They actually have kind of a curly, rustic, rough coat, which is, of course, useful for herding in the region of Belgium that they were bred in.
Handsome dog, very handsome dog. And we'll make sure we put pictures up so everybody who listens to the show can go to our social media channels and see great pictures of the dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the fourth one is the Dogo Argentino, and that breed is joining the working group, and there's no doubt about that. If you see their athletic build, they have a really thick neck and thick head, and they are all muscle. They really are, but they're primarily white. They might have a few black markings, but they are a white breed, and they were originally bred to catch dangerous game like pumas and wild boar and things like that in Argentina. So they are not faint of heart. They are very courageous, athletic breed, but with proper socialization and training as puppies, they become wonderful family members.
Yeah, a handsome dog, not necessarily for everyone. I mean, no breed of dog is necessarily for, and people know the Dogo because it's been in this country for a while, but it's great that it's been recognized by AKC now. So that's nice. And once again, like I said, we'll make sure we put pictures on our social media channels so that everyone can see these great dogs. So they recognize them when they watch the show in about 2 weeks, right?
You got it.
You got it. Okay, Gail, we all have our favorites, especially when it comes to Best in Show, right, Dr. Fleck?
That's right. So before you go, would you remind us how the Best in Show judge picks a winner so you don't get mad at the judge?
Well, that's a great point, because when it comes down to those final 7 dogs in the group ring or in the Best in Show ring, yes, that's when the fans really start to chime in on which breed should have won, right? And so it's important to remember that the judge is not judging the dogs against each other necessarily, but to each breed's written standard. So if there's a Beagle and there's a Beaver Terrier, let's say, which dog more closely resembles that ideal written standard. And that's what the judge is judging the dogs against. It isn't which one is prettier, or, you know, just looking at them on the skin surface.
You know what? If that was the case in horse racing, Dr. Fleck, maybe you might win.
Maybe I might win then, but
you know, because you can never pick a winner in horse racing.
yeah, I wonder how many of our listening audiences actually agree with the judge.
Probably not many.
Probably not many.
Probably not many. I mean, there. You know,
Have you ever?
Have I ever? Yeah, I've picked plenty. I mean, you know, you know, if I tell people how many years I've been going to Westminster, they would really know how old I am. So, and it's pretty old because I started going when I was with my dad when I was 5.
But it's so much fun.
But I have to say that classic thing I always say every year to you. So the greatest thing about Westminster, and it's like one of those things I always think of my dad, because my dad used to take me during the day, right, to see all of the great dogs. And he was most happy when I almost got to 7, because he didn't have to stop by the ladies' bathroom and ask a woman just to take me into the bathroom at Madison Square Garden. So when I moved up to be 7 years of age, that was like a big thing for him. Then he could relax and he'll be like, yeah, I'll go get a hot dog or something. And then you just go to the bathroom by yourself. It was like classic. You know, he'd wait out by the door, but
Sure.
you know, so that's how I always think of my dad. And especially this year, because it shows in June, his birthday's in June. So it'll bring back some memories specifically for me.
Well, we need to be fair to the judges. They're very talented. They really have a good grasp of the dog world and the breed world. So what they choose, it's probably correct.
And, you know, there's so many great judges every year. They give you the whole lineup. They have expertise. It's not like you just become a judge because you open a book and, you know, they really study. Many of these judges are very profound. If you recall, this was way back, you know, maybe a few years. I'm going to say 3 or 4 years. We had Kiki Khan, who showed breed at, do you remember we had Judge Kiki on back in the day when we started with a local station here in Florida? And that was a treat having her on. And she does toy dogs, so it was nice. And I think she's judged Westminster 3 times. But then you get somebody like Peter Green, and you know, people who have you've seen them win in the ring, you know. So, and then you wonder, like some of the handlers, like, you know, Gabrielle, will he become a judge one day? You know, you just wonder.
Well, it's like you said, at horse racing, a horse will be number 1
if you cross
past
the
the goal
line
line,
first.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The goal, finish line.
Here,
Finish line. This is not football.
Okay. The finish line. So, but here it's a personal interpretation of what the best in show.
No, it's not a
really
personal
is.
interpretation. It's the AKC standard. So the judge
And the
looks at
interpretation of that
right.
AKC
right.
standard.
So yeah. So I think that's what you always think about, like what's going on in their head, you know?
My dog should always win anyway. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, one year, my dream would be if an English toy won, Gail. An English toy. You know,
it could happen. That could happen.
Anything could happen. You know, and they've moved up in
Well,
popularity.
look how many people have Goldens. Goldens have never won, right?
Yeah, but that dog, Buddy, wasn't his name Buddy a few years ago? Daniel, that's right. Daniel. I mean, people were like, you know, it was like Dare to Dream on that minute, right? Like the crowd was with Daniel.
Yeah, I'm part of the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd was with Daniel. I don't know. I mean, I don't even remember. I mean, you know, he was cute, but I never have high hopes for. You know, one of the things that I do around Westminster is seems like I do it more and more. But so we always get psyched up for these various things that go on. Like obviously the last 2 years I haven't been able to go to the Kentucky Derby. So I had this huge Derby party and cooked all this amazing Derby food. So, you know, we decorate the house and we've got breed pillows all over the place. So, you know, and then we always get a few new ones. So we just make it, you know, there's dog stuff anyway, because it's a dog house, but we go to and then I bring up my Westminster historical collection. I don't know if you know this, but I collect a lot of pieces from the 30s and I guess the oldest piece I have is from the first show. And I have breed medallions for my dog breed. And one of my latest scores I got last year was that you remember the woman, it's like in 1879, she's wearing the long coat with the mitt, you know.
Yes,
got her,
yes.
I have that original magazine.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So I've actually it's funny because I picked up a few things from Morris and Essex too. And Wayne always says, are you going to donate them to the club? And I said, not right now. But we're happy to have you on, and we want to wish you best of luck with the show, not only as your director of communications, but in your co-hosting duties. So we will look forward to seeing you.
And we should enjoy it this year. I know it's different. We look forward to next year when it's back in Madison Square Garden, but let's really enjoy it this year.
We're excited to be back, actually. We see it as a celebration because, you know, most dog shows were canceled last year. So we're excited to be back.
And I got dog show party plans
Okay.
that I will reveal in the next week or so.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Pet Buzz.